I think this is one of the most special places in the world. The landscape is beautiful. The river is sort of a marquee feature that's in a condition that would rival most rivers of the region. And one of the wonderful things about it is that the rural communities up here still respect and appreciate the value of public access.
The Upper Connecticut River is one of the gems of the Northeast Kingdom, and thanks to a partnership between multiple state and private organizations, 849 acres along a 6-mile stretch of the river in the towns of Canaan and Lemmington were protected from future development in 2012 and open to the public.
Bill and Ursula Johnson, who had owned this farm since the 70s, reached out to the Vermont Land Trust as they were trying to transition out from dairy and retire. They had no children to pass the farm on to, so the next logical step was for the Vermont Land Trust to work with them in order to find a farm buyer. At the same time, the Vermont Land Trust invited the Nature Conservancy into the deal in order to think about the ecological values on the property.
In partnership with the Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department and Agency of Agriculture, plans were developed to conserve a working farm on 583 acres and to create a new state wildlife area on the remaining 266 acres. The Johnson Farm Wildlife Management Area is only the third WMA on the Connecticut River in its 200-mile journey down the east side of Vermont.
The idea here is to provide for a riparian corridor along the length of the Connecticut River for all of the wildlife that use this kind of habitat, including cavity nesting species, mammals that use this for cover between the open land and the buffer, as well as habitat for fish along the river as the trees dying fall into the river and provide great habitat for fish to use as well. So our hope over time is to enhance it where we have 30, 40 feet, enhance it out to 50 feet through plantings and passive restoration down the whole length of the property.
During their many years of farming, the Johnsons were excellent stewards of the land. In addition to having riparian buffers, the farmland also includes several undisturbed wetlands and oxbow ponds.
This is a great example of one of the wetlands that has terrific wildlife habitat functions and values. You got a great interspersion of open water and wetland vegetation. Some of the wetland vegetation provides food for beaver and muskrat. You've got mink in here, otter come back and forth from the Connecticut River into this wetland. You've got grassland habitat right up to the edge of this wetland where ground nesting waterfowl will lay their eggs. You've got great brood rearing habitat for wood ducks, and during the fall season, as waterfowl are migrating, it's a great stopover area for all sorts of waterfowl.
The property also has several small blocks of intact floodplain forest.
We're within one of the best examples of a floodplain forest along the Connecticut River. We have a number of these examples, especially on the upper reaches of the Connecticut River, where we still have mature examples of the natural community, with silver maples dominating in the canopy. There's some red maples on the understory, slippery elms, as well as if you were here in the spring or the summertime, you'd see 4-foot tall ostrich ferns throughout, tall ferns, beautiful. This natural community was once really dominant along the Connecticut River, and over time has been sort of restricted in size due to the productive soils for agriculture.
The floodplain forests and lush wetlands adjacent to the working farm fields provide a haven for a wide array of wildlife.
One of the great things about this property is the extreme diversity in habitats. You have a little bit of the boreal forest adjacent to us, connecting down to the lowlands of the Connecticut River. All of that diversity lends itself to species that you would see in the deep boreal forest and the deep woods, like bear and moose, to species that you might think about when you are in the Champlain Valley, including great blue heron, rail, bitterns, and waterfowl that use this area as a resting place on stopover.
Enjoying all this wildlife will be made easier as the Fish and Wildlife Department enhances public access with the creation of a new boat launch and primitive canoe campsites.
This project represents one of these unique intersections of rural working lands and conservation lands. And together, they maintain the rural culture and character of northeastern Vermont.